All right. We'll give it a minute to make sure it starts. Welcome to Purple and Gold Bars. I'm your host, Supreme. Wow, what a big day for trades yesterday. Davante Adams, Amari Cooper, and Cam Akers were just some of the players on the move yesterday. I thought I'd give you guys my first impressions to start the morning. All right. Let's start with the elephant in the room, Davante Adams. Wow, big move for the Jets. They desperately needed something to revitalize that offense. Um, it's a little bit. It's a bit funny because the Raiders did kind of hold out, hold out a little. The Raiders did hold out a little bit on them, so it was it was funny to see how they were able to get them a little bit more for that conditional third that can potentially move up to a second based on his performance. So you got to love to see that where the Raiders took a little jab at them on the way out. When it comes to the effect that it's going to have on the Jets, like there's no doubt that it's going to have an immediate boost to their morale and their optimism. Right, so we're going to see some a little bit of resurgent play by the team. But overall, as that kind of starts to fade, I think although they will be more productive on offense, I think a lot of their dysfunctions are going to still going to be a big factor. Having an interim coach as well as a first time coach is a big hurdle to overcome. A lot of what you don't know is going to hurt you, right? So just like what it's like when we first get hired at a job, or where, let's say, if you're in the perspective of somebody that's been working at a job like at a factory or anything that takes a little bit of skill or time to adjust once you get hired, when you see those new employees come in, you see that there is an adjustment period, right? And it's not as easy. So I think that when those new employees are in that position, a lot of what they don't know is what creates inefficiency in the way that they do their job. And it takes a skilled veteran or an older employee to come in and kind of teach you the ropes so that you become more efficient. So I think that's going to be a factor with the New York Jets coaching staff. I know a lot of people are joking around, basically saying that Aaron Rodgers is essentially the coach anyway, so it doesn't really matter who it is. But I still think it is going to cause enough problems and turmoil throughout the season that it's going to end up being a little bit of a middling season for them. And so I think that we'll see what time how and we'll see how time plays that out. But regardless to say, if you're a Jets fan, I'm sure this is a big boost to your morale and to your optimism. So for the fan base, I'm happy for you guys because as a fan, I know what it's like to be miserable and wanting for better. And when little things or even big things happen, you take them quite heavily. And, props to you guys. And I hope the best for the fan base. And I do hope for that they, as an organization and in general, I hope they do well. Moving on to the next big trade of the day, Amari Cooper gets traded to the Buffalo Bills. Now, what does that say about the Browns that we really already don't know? They're a dumpster fire, and it's been going on for 6 weeks now, and we know, but there's no sight to its end, right? It's just going to keep raging and going until every last piece of that organization is burnt to the ground. It's just taking quite a bit of time. So, um, terrible if you're a Browns fan, and it sucks, and I feel bad for you guys, and my heart goes out to you guys. But until something happens, whether it's a complete organizational shift from man, it might even be to the point where you guys need new owners. I don't know what it is, but something really has to change because the Browns have been a complete disaster for the better part of 30, 40, 50 years, right? So Something's got to change, and this trade was, I guess, in a move in the right direction because you got to hit rock bottom before it gets better. But on the other side, on the brighter side, Josh Allen has been playing with a lot of heart and determination this year, and for him to get a new weapon to add to his offense is incredible because as we see with teams like the Vikings or the Giants with Neighbors or Tyreek Hill, right when Tua is healthy, when you have a dynamic playmaker like that, it really changes the way a defense is played, right? So it opens up a lot of opportunity to the secondary players, even to the running game, even to Josh Allen's own running game. That really might be the difference maker going forward for these Bills. So I'm really happy for Josh Allen because I'm a really big fan. I like his story and I like him as a person and as a player. So really good stuff from the Bills. And you know what? An underrated trade that I didn't even really see a lot of hype or even coverage on yesterday was Roy Robertson Harris was picked up, was traded over to the Seattle Seahawks from the Jaguars. There's no secret that the Seattle Seahawks are depleted and they're banged up on defense. So this defensive end coming in here to boost to their defensive line is a huge improvement that they desperately need right now. I'm not sure if it's enough to plug up all the holes that they're suffering right now on defense, but it might be enough to give enough. It might be enough to give room or breathing room for the offense to kind of work a little bit more. So hopefully, as they get healthier, this might pay off dividends late in the season. So really good move by the Seattle Seahawks and good stuff. And then the move that we've all been waiting for as Vikings fans, Cam Akers comes back to the Minnesota Vikings, being traded to the Vikings in 2 consecutive years. I don't know if that's a record or anything, but it's nice to see Cam Akers back. He's a beloved player, a well-liked player within the organization and by the fan base. So the familiarity, everything that comes along with that is awesome. It doesn't really affect the brotherhood or chemistry that's going on right now. In 2 different ways, right? If he's going to be a big impact, right? We'll have a little bit of a running back by committee if Aaron Jones still has some lingering hip injuries and leaves games early or misses games. Let's say if he misses this week, so it might be a little bit of a running back by committee. But with Gaskin and Chandler and him, we have a 3-headed monster right now, essentially, that can really do enough and kind of have 3 unique aspects that defenses have to account for whenever each one of them is out on the field, right? So it's nice to see. I've never been a really big fan of the running back by committee option. And I think that's more so when you're looking at it as in a year for the whole year in its totality. When you have multiple running backs taking carries for the entire season, feel like it really affects certain running backs, their ability to kind of get into rhythm. So, but for a game or 2 or 3, while we get Aaron Jones fully healthy to kind of really finish off the season strong, that's incredible. And then going forward, once Aaron Jones is fully healthy, having him part of the backfield to be able to incorporate, especially in games when we have massive leads or blowing them out and maybe the other team's already gone into their backups, he can come in here and help save that tread on Aaron Jones's body so that he's not taking that wear and tear. So really good things from this trade. I'm really happy because we were needing some help at the running back position. And yeah, so a lot of good things, really good moves, 4 cool trades over the last couple days. First impressions on all 3, I think they're all good trades. They definitely improve everything, and it says a lot about the teams that were moving on from those players that most of those teams are actually heavily leaning into a rebuild or competitive rebuild into the foreseeable future. So sucks for those teams and those franchises, and my heart goes out to you guys. But it looks like the teams that needed to make some sort of move already started from the trade moves or the free agency moves or the trades before the deadline with a bang. So it's good to see, and I think it's going to revitalize and kind of change a little bit of the perspective or the outcome of the later part of the mid and later part of the season. So as a fan, you can't be more than excited because it means that we're just going to get better football in the upcoming weeks. So I hope you guys enjoyed my first impressions. Hit that like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Skol Vikings.